Hello, my marvellous sausages! Now, the Wishender bow is probably something you've been salivating after for quite a long time, if you don't have it, of course. It's so useful in so many situations, it's endgame ready, and up until now it's been pretty difficult to get solo, really, because of the way the quest unfolded. But last year, Bungie updated the Wishender quest, so it's pretty easy to follow and actually pretty easy to do. I've managed to do it solo myself only just recently. I tried it, in fact, just last week, and I completed all the steps completely solo using my Titan. He's your Strand Titan, you know, he's very good. But of course, it's equally doable on your Warlock or your Hunter. Now, one of the reasons why this is thought of as one of the best exotics in the game and one of the most sought after is because it's got, well, quite a few nifty traits. First off, it's anti-barrier, so you can shoot through any shields. In fact, the only shields you can't shoot through are the Phalanxes with their big heavy doodads. Apart from that, you can shoot through the Hobgoblin shields, you know, the solar recharge ones, the Vandal bubbles, the Hydra standard shields, and of course barrier champions as well. It's fantastic. It hits incredibly hard. It's got a stunning range. It's really, really accurate. I just can't sing its praises enough. And it's also anti-Taken fletching on it, which means that it hurts Taken a lot more. We all love hurting Taken. And it's got something called Broadhead on it, which means it over-penetrates targets, so you can kill one Git and it'll carry on going and kill the Git standing behind him. Marvellous. Now let me show you the build that I'm using for my Titan. It's a Strand build, primarily because of the Banner of War, which of course gives you healing, and the more stacks of Banner of War that you get, the more healing that you get as well. And this is primarily like a melee build, I suppose, so I'm using my Syntheseps as well to get the kick-ins with, and any melee weapons you might like to use, although it's the punching that I primarily enjoyed myself. So what else did I have as well? I had Drenger's Lash, so whenever I stuck down one of my barricades, I could suspend something in front of me, which is quite nice in a pinch, actually, that. Fragments, I've gone for Thread of Wisdom, so suspended targets create an orb of power. I want to get as many orbs of power as possible, because I've got this in as well, Thread of Warding. When I pick that up, it gives me Woven Mail. I've also got Thread of Generation, so dealing damage generates grenade energy, always useful. And then finally here, Suspend, Unravel, and several effects applied to targets have increased duration as well. But of course, you can put in what you want, but I really would recommend the Woven Mail. That's incredibly useful. Now, as for creating orbs, Harmonic Siphon's useful. If you're using a Strand subclass, any Strand weapon will give you an orb of power, or create an orb of power, and that's only one to put in. But of course, if you're changing it, depends on what you want. You know, you may be using Void if you're using the Graviton Lance, so you're going to want to stick that in as well. It's worth remembering these and changing them around to give yourself a bit of an advantage when the orbs drop. I've also put in, of course, Heavy Ammo Finder, and I've stuck my Resilience up as much as possible, and my Discipline as well. On my arms and the Syntheseps, I've gone for Heavy-Handed, so I can get some orb from punching people in the face. Momentum Transfer, which reduces my melee cooldown when I use a grenade, and Bolstering Detonation grants class ability when you cause damage with a grenade, and there's my Grenade Discipline mod there. In my chest piece, let's have a look at that. I've basically gone for whatever resistance you want. Sniper resistance is very useful in this, because there's so many snipers in it. That is very, very handy. I put in a Void resistance as well, but swap these round to whatever you feel your weaknesses are. I've got a Discipline in there too. In here for my booties, I'm just looking to generate as much defense as possible, really. So I've gone for Absolution, reduces all ability cooldowns each time you pick up an Orb of Power. Gone for Invigoration as well, and also Better Already, and there's a Grenade Discipline mod there too. And then finally on my Titan, I've gone for Reaper there, so shortly after using your class ability, your next weapon will Final Blow spawns an Orb of Power. We've gone for Outreach, Distribution, and a Discipline mod there too. But of course, you can put in and tweak it to ever what you want. Weapons-wise, I brought in a wide array, so I got a toolkit for use in all emergencies. So first of all, my Riptide, I always use this. I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's rapid fire, but it does freeze them as well. Very, very good for hitting people in the face and getting you out of trub. I also brought in, I got my auto rifle Perpetualis just in case I needed it. Didn't actually use it that much. But this, the Quicksilver Storm, is what I used quite a lot. It's very, very useful because it's Strand, so that's brilliant. And if you've got it, the Malfeasance, very, very good because there's extra damage towards Taken on that too. Now, down in my secondary weapon slot, I used this a lot, particularly with the ogre in the end there, because there was void shields, which is really good to take care of, and there's also lots of goblins and little vandals running around the place, so the ad clearance is marvellous on this. I really would recommend the Graviton Lance. And also I brought in the Polaris Lance as well. The reason why I brought this in is because there's some sections where you're shooting a lot of people from afar, but you can take in a decent scout, or you can take in a sniper, whatever you want, but I found this one particularly useful, the Polaris Lance. And for my Titan build as well, because I'm using the Banner of War, and I got my Syntheseps on, some kind of glaive can come in very useful too. I got my Judgment of Kelgarath there, but of course the melee wallops help you generate the Banner of War stacks to give you a bit more health. And then for my heavy weapon, I just went with two things. I went with my Bump in the Night, which was very handy. It's got tracking module on it and chill clip, which is nice to slow them down. And then I also used my Deterministic Chaos, which is from Lightfall, but that's only because it adds in weakening to the target, which is very, very useful, and it destroyed the void shields, of which there's quite a few in here as well. You can use a tractor cannon, or if you don't want to use an exotic in your heavy slot, you can use your Retrofit Escapade. Anything basically that hits very hard. But all I will say to you is bring in a wide range of weapons into the dungeon with you, so you can swap things out and just use things that advance you the best. Don't worry, you don't get sent back to orbit at any point. If you die, you just kind of restart that area. And believe me, I died an absolute ton in this, so don't worry about it. Just work your way through methodically, and I can guarantee you, you will do it. So the way to start the Wishender now is you come to the quest archive. There's either one here in the tower or one in the helm, and you want to go down to the Exotics and Legacy tab down here and preview that. And then you can see this one here called the Hunter's Remembrance. You need to pick that one up, and this is the one that starts it all off. Now it says here, Petrovenge sent a cryptic request for assistance. Locate her in the Dreaming City and ask her for details. So first thing to do is go and see Petrovenge in the Dreaming City. So let's go and have a little look at where she is. She's currently in the Strand, look, and she's also got the exotic mission flashing above her head. You can mark it if you don't know how to get there, and then just go to the landing zone and make your way over to Petrovenge. Remember as well, she can appear in different locations depending on the week, because it's got like what they call a curse strength. And then she goes from the Strand to Ria Silvia to the Devalian Mists. But today, she's in the Strand. There we go. Once you find Petra, chin wag to her, and then you can see the Hunter's Remembrance there. Now, this little thing here, the Awoken Memento, this replaces all the more complicated way we used to do it before. This is the only thing you pick up. You must pick this up, otherwise you're not going to get your Wishender. Because what happens, look, is that it goes into your inventory here. Not in your inventory, into your primary weapon slot. You have to make sure that's there before you start, and then we compile into the Shattered Throne and do it. But I want to show you one other thing here first of all as well. If we look at our quests tab, and you can see Hunter's Remembrance there, we can click on the details to have a little look through it. We've got to basically destroy a Minotaur, a Captain, and an Ogre. Now, all three of these are hidden within the Shattered Throne dungeon, and the order we do them in is Minotaur, Captain, and Ogre. And what's handy about these quest pages, well, you can see a bit more of a description about where they are, but don't worry about that, I'll show you exactly where they are. But you can launch it directly from here as well. Now, here we are in the first encounter, and this is where we're going to get our first step of the Wishender done. So we need to summon an invisible Minotaur. And what we really need to do is up to you. What I would do, though, is just do one thing at a time. So forget all these guys here. I'm going to show you exactly where to go. You want to jump into this chamber with a diving bird. This is the first chamber and your anchor point. You want to turn left, and then we're going to go and jump on top of this gantry type area up here. Now, you are going to have some gits. You can see I've been here before practicing, look, because there's engrams everywhere. I'd kill these thrall here because they can get a bit irritating and take pot shots at you, and there's quite a few of them. So there we are. Sort them out. Lovely. Good. That's excellent. Yes, goodbye. Yes, get lost. Yes, thanks very much. Right, that's all them gone. So what we want to do now is jump up here, okay? This is where the dragon is. But on this side as well, if we run up to here, we've got two other ways to go. Straight across there, we can see we've got the snakes, the Ouroboros snakes. And if I just go down here, there's a little way down there, look. And that takes us down to the two swimming fish together. But what we want to do is get on the top of this to get our first boss done for the Wishender. So the best way to do that is to jump up on these rockets here. So there's one jump there. And one jump there. If you're finding it difficult, don't forget, use your lion rampants for your titans or your stompies for your hunters. But warlocks shouldn't have too much of a problem jumping up here. There we go. We've just jumped across, look, into it. We triggered a little bit of dialogue from Riven. And there is our orb that we need to pick up. We pick that orb up. Pick it up, not reload, you idiot. And we're trying to get back over now to the other side, okay? So what we need to do, let's have a little look. We need to run down here. Just for your reference, we're going over there to that gazebo type area. So we want to go here. Now you can jump straight over with Strand if you've got it, of course, but I'm just showing you the way to go if you don't happen to have Strand. It's nice and easy. Lemon squeezy. Here we go over this bit here, and then you can see there's the gazebo there. There's a little lip here which you can stand on, and then there's another little lip sticking out there. I found that's the best way to go. And then we need to deposit the orb and get ready for a scrap against these two giant invisible Minotaurs. Okay, so we want to put this in an empty statue's hand. This is what happens all the way through the dungeon. The empty statue's hand is this one. Oh, sorry, it's this one here. Slap it in, and then you just basically want to kill the git who turns up. We'll just use our super, shall we? There we go. There we are. Bum, 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 bum. That's one nearly gone, is it? Go on, are you gone yet? Yeah, that's one gone. And then that spawns another one. Kill them both. There we go. Nearly dead, hopefully. Yes, oh, I've lost me. There we are. Lovely. There we are. That's them both dead. And then that will fulfill the first part of the task. Now, I've already done my task, so I don't have the tick-offs to show you, but that's the first one's done. So we need to go back to the start now to go and start the this actual encounter, because, of course, you have to finish this encounter before you can continue on in the dungeon. So what we're basically going to do is just drop down here, and we're going to make our way back to the diving bird area, yes. Which is right here, look. I jumped off a bit further. Yeah, there we are. So here's the first guy that we didn't kill. So we just need to kill this idiot. And then get going with the actual encounter. So this first one, once you kill him, a symbol will appear. And then we need to follow that symbol to the next area. But we've got to clear all the ads before it appears, look. So we've got a couple of acolytes here. Any more eyes there? Yeah, there's a couple more here. Some shape. Where are you? There we go. Is that it done? Yeah, there we go. So we need to go to fish next now. So single fish. So what we need to do is run up here. And it's going to be different for you, remember. Where it tells you to go is completely different. But the areas remain the same where you need to go. So it might tell you to go to dragon there, not fish, for example. But we're going to go to single fish. So we need to go in here. And we're going to go all the way over to our right. And then single fish is down here. And then we go and kill that, and then once we kill the big knight-type fellow, then we'll have a location of the next place we need to go. We just need to do this until all the symbols have been extinguished. Oh my good God. Now, the key to completing this is understanding the layout, really, because if you die, you'll go back to the start and have to do it all again. But once you've killed the Minotaurs, you don't have to do those again. You just have to do the encounter. So here's a map on the screen which will give you an idea of where the different symbols are. But as you run around, you'll get more used to it. You've got to remember as well, for example, where you've got the diving bird where you first come in, the chamber for the snakes, the two-headed snakes, is kind of around and below that chamber. So that's the central point where you want to go from. And then to the left, as you look at it, you've got the dragon and you've got the Ouroboros snake and the fish. And then on the other side, you've got the single fish and you've got the bird at the top as well. So you do kind of get used to it as you're running around. Now, I just want to give credit to the map that you can see on the screen. It's from a Reddit post. It's incredibly useful. And I just want to give full credit to Osuj, I believe is how you pronounce it, on the Reddit forum. I'm going to leave a link in the description there as well, so you can go and have a little look. It's very, very useful. It's far too good to be my work. You'll see an example of my exquisite map-making skills a little bit later on. Now, you're going to have a large boss-type fellow in each area who you have to kill. It's either a Minotaur or maybe a Phalanx. So just make sure you've got some decent crowd-clearing weapons on you. I was using various different things, but I did find that my Bannerfall Titan came in very, very useful here with the melee, which was great. But, of course, Sunshot this season, it would be fantastic because of the destructive ability of the ads. Anything that spreads the love, really. Anything with Volt Shot, for example, will be fantastic for destroying the ads. So you just need to work your way through it. You'll know when you're coming to the end of the sequence because it'll will tell you to return to the diving bird back in the center. There'll be another bunch of gits in there. Be careful, there's a captain in there who's a huge pain in the ass. Make sure you have your super pack in before you go in there. Sort them out. The ground will open up, and then you can drop down, and we're going to make our way to the next part. Now, this next section is quite lengthy, and if you die at any point during this, you're going to come back here and start again. Now, I've got my malfeasance on you because there's quite a lot of taken here too, but you just want to take your time and work your way through this area, picking them off as you go. You do have quite a few snipers in this area as well. My advice to you is just back off and take them off from a distance. Something long range will be incredibly useful. The Polaris Lance could come in useful here as well. But look, there you are. You can see you've got the snipers right up the top there. We do also have some phalanx, and we have quite a lot of taken acolytes up here, and a couple of Minotaurs as well. So what I'm going to do is fight my way up to the top. I'll show you exactly where all the gits are. Now, as you go up the stairway here, you're going to have a phalanx hiding immediately on your right. He's a huge pain. He can make you poo yourself. And then you've got more snipers shooting at you from across the way. But use the cover of this block here, but be aware there's snipers at another level above you too. So you just want to kind of hide in this little nook and cranny here, which is very, very useful. But it can turn into a bit of a panic and a kerfuffle here, but just stay here and administer the kick-ins. You can see there, look, we've got some Vandals with the shields over there. There's also the Minotaurs. There's one. There's one! They will teleport at you as well, which can be very, very irritating. Taking out the Vandals there too. And again, look, another sniper at the top. Utilizing me barrier, and then also up here we got Asterion set apart. It's another captain who does all the blinding shots on you, which is very, very irritating. Just give them a damn good kicking. If you got your super, kick that in as well, and just sort them right out. But it can be a little... You could find you're going to take this, you go, oh, I can do this, no problem at all. But you might find that you get overwhelmed pretty quickly because you're being shot at from so many different areas. So don't be afraid to drop back down here and get your breath back, which is what I've done frequently. Yeah, I'm trying different heavies here as well, look. So I'm using my fusion rifle here as well, just my linear fusion, just to get a bit of a kicking on them. But whatever you want to use it to get the job done. So that's the captain dead. That's not one of the captains we need for the Wishender, unfortunately. We want to now go through what's basically a huge hallway lined with snipers at the end. Look, here it is here. Now, this is where your Polaris Lance is going to come in incredibly useful, and you can do most of your kick-ins from outside the door here. So what we've got in here is taken hobgoblins who shoot you with that triple whammy annoying stuff. You've got taken knights who shoot you with fire, and of course they can teleport as well once they get shot. That makes them very annoying to shoot from afar, but I wouldn't advise you go rushing in here because you're going to get pelted from each side. Just look to the right, take those ones out, look to the left, take those ones out. Just be aware you've got knights who are pretty close to you. Look, you can see them shooting me from there. It's worth taking these knights out. They're still there. Look, there we are. There's one. And there's also one on the opposite side where it can be a phalanx. So make sure you take them out and strategically make your way down the end of the hallway. There's like walkways on each wall to walk your way down. And then eventually you'll jump up into the middle section. Once you get to the middle section, you're kind of at the halfway point of the room, but it does thin out quite a bit from here on in. You've got some taken phalanxes who are actually on the level there with you, and you've got a couple of taken knights and hobgoblins at the far end as well. Take your time, son, as they say on Bullseye, and shoot them out from a distance. And then what you want to do is make your way up the stairs to the left. Now, this next bit we're heading towards is a jumping... Well, it's not a puzzle, really, because... But the trouble is, there's lots of precarious platforms that you need to sort of walk on. But we've also got ogres who appear when you sort of arrive in different parts of the room, look. So you can see we've had 2 ogres appear here now, and I'd really recommend you take the ogres out before you do any jumping. I'm shooting this one here on the left, but I gotta be honest, you should start with the one on the right, because look, he goes and hides away behind that pillar there, which can be quite annoying. So you actually have to run around and shoot him when he's at the pillar. But if you do the one on the right first and then the one on the left, you'll get them both, so you won't have to be worried about being kicked up the backside by an ogre. Okay, so we're coming off here. We're going to go to the right because this is where the orb is located. As in the first section, we need to grab an orb and dunk it into a statue's hands. There we are. Let's kill him. He's not too hard to kill, really. Now, I wouldn't recommend you pick the orb up straight away like you nearly saw me do there. What I would recommend you do is go and take out the ogres who are on your way. Otherwise, they're going to shoot you when you're jumping. They're going to kill you, and you're going to go all the way back to the start before the long room and before the ascent up the tower, yeah? So it's kind of well worth trying to do this right the first time so you don't have to go back and start again. So this is the way I've decided to go. So you go along this platform here, stop, jump up onto this platform here. Now, I'm making my way to the empty statue, so you can kind of look at this as a dry run, and you can see I've realized, look, oh no, I've got my syntheseps on. I better put my best jumping trousers on there as well. So that's my lion rampants there. So what we want to do is make our way kind of over to the second set of statues over there. Now we can see there's another ogre who just appears from here. You want to take that git out, or he'll shoot you and make your life an absolute misery and push you off to your death, which of course is very annoying. So there we are, we're going to run up the gantry here, and it's nice to do this, first of all, because you've got a dry run when you've got the orb in your hand. We come to this junction, turn right, and here you go, you can see where all the nestling of the statues are, and there's one in the centre who isn't playing with their balls in their hand. So that's where you need to stick the orb, okay? So kill this ogre here, and then I would spin around and go and get the orb from the platform. So let's just jog back down again. It's very useful to know, actually, which way you're going, because there are various ways you can jump. There are, like, shelves on the other side there as well that you can use to jump on the far wall. But if you're not confident in jumping, then it's probably not worth doing. So here we go, and I pop down here. Now, I can't remember. I think, yeah, I've actually... No, they are cool. You turn right. Watch out as well. You can see where the platforms have their junctions. There's a little hole right there that you can fall through, so be very, very careful of that as well. Okay, so here we go. Orb time. You pick it up. Now, don't forget, you go to third person when you've got this orb, so it does change your viewpoint a little bit. So I was just walking, really, and going as slowly as I can, just lining myself up and taking a nice little joggity jog there. It does seem different, doesn't it, when you go into the third person? I found rather than turning and walking up there, just jumping straight to the platform is a real big help. We're going to go straight through this platform here and straight up to the next one there as well. And there's no gaps here. There you are. You can see the big holes. Look, you can possibly fall down. So just be slow. Don't worry about how fast it takes. Be slow. Be gentle, because you can get really tense and fall because they're so incredibly narrow. So here we go. We're coming up to the statue now. We're going to stick it in its handses. And there we are. We need to make our way now up to the top. Now this bit, I found this bit more awkward than that bit with the ball, because you've got to jump onto the platforms. Look, they're in the horizontal in front of you, so there's quite a small landing space. So what I found was, I'm running up now towards this taken bit. Don't get hit by that spinning thing, it'll blow you right off. So I've jumped, try and land and get your crosshairs where you want to land. Ooh, that was so close, see, it's so slippery. And you could fall off. This was like the fourth time I'd done it. I'd gone back to the start 4 times, so it's incredibly annoying. We've got a hallowed ogre there. I believe that's the last one who appears. He can't reach you from where he is. You want to jump straight on, get your crosshairs roughly on where you want to land, keep it as you're going, and there we go. Just land on there quite nicely, and then we're pretty close to it now. There we can see the edge where we want to go. It looks quite far away, but there is a little lip there just in front of the entryway that you want to aim for and land on, and there we go. That's the second orb stuck in. Now, this part is called the Thrallway. You might have heard loads of people talking about this for farming XP and stuff, but they've deactivated the ability to earn XP in here, so you can't do it anymore. But anyway, this is the third orb we need to go and dunk. This is just before we kill our second Wishender boss, okay? So you can see I've turned right, pick up the orb here. Now, you're going to get loads of Shadow Thrall piling you, and there's a handy little jump and hit, so you want to do a jump and a melee that'll help you leap forward. But sometimes you can find you're targeting the thrall. I would just recommend that you run, keep on running as much as you can. So you want to pick the orb up, and you want to go diagonally up now to the left-hand side of the room as we're looking at it. We're going to go down this lovely little staircase here. Then you want to turn right, avoiding all the thrall or punching them in the face. But because I'm doing melee kills here with my Titan, I keep on calling it bloody Bannerfall. It's not called Bannerfall, it's called a Banner of War. Keeps on activating, which is really handy for my health. There we go. You want to turn right right, go up this staircase. Then when you come into this room, you want to turn immediately left. You want to run up the corridor here, and then you want to turn left again, and then you can see a wibbly wobbly exit, and you need to jump through the torches and land on the floor. It's quite a drop, so be prepared to slow your descent, otherwise you're going to hurt yourself. So land there, bang, gone, and you can see there's the statue. We stick the orb in there. Okay, now we can face the second boss in the Wishender questline. So from where you've deposited the orb, you want to turn around, and then you want to come down and turn right, and you can see there's a doorway that's opened here. It's right at the end of these broken up gantryways. So you just want to jump your way through here. Now, when you're carrying on with the mission, once you get over to the other side here, you'd normally turn right and go up that way. We'll be going that way in a moment, but these are the big doors that open, and this is where the second taken bosses that we need to kill. You've allowed this to open by depositing those last two bowlarks. Right, we've got a central platform, and we've got two gantries coming in at it, and there is an abyss kind of around it, so you can fall off, so be careful, but it's a relatively easy fight. Once you walk into the center, you're going to start summoning in loads and loads of taken, so you want to take as many of those out as you can. I wouldn't recommend staying in the center though at this bit, because you're going to be a prime target where everybody's just shooting at you from the outside and on the inside as well. So if you find yourself in a little bit of a panic, what you want to do basically is just run over to the edges so you can't fall off. Do you know what I mean? You can fall off when you're running there, but not along the edges. Now, once you've killed a certain amount of taken, then we're going to have the captain boss drop into the center. Probably by this time you've got a super pack, and here we go. We can see he's just spawned in. Look, go and sort him out with your super. If you've got a roaming super though, be careful you don't fall off the edge. Here we go, kick his face in. I'm taking my life in my hands there, look. I was really, really lucky, but bang. He's dead really quickly. There's nothing too much to panic about. Once you've done that, that's the second part done. And then you want to make your way back out of the door that you came in. You can see me just jumping over there. The door will reopen again, and then you want to come out of this door. And then you want to take a right as you come out, and we're going to follow our way, continuing on now to the final battle that we really need to do in order to get the Wishender. It's not the final battle of the dungeon, but it's the last thing you need to do to get your Wishender, so you can quit after this battle if you want to, because it can be a bit difficult. So you want to follow the route that I'm showing on the screen here. Be careful of the taken guts on the floor. Nice bit of cheating with Strand there. That comes in very useful for this dungeon. Strand gets you out of all sorts of bother. Now we're heading to that doorway there where you can see the congregation of taken. You can take pretty much all of them out from over here if you want to. It's probably best to do that so you don't get overwhelmed. Jump on over and then make your way up the stairs. Now this is the final battle you really need to do to get the Wishender, and there's two parts to it. We've got the main battle of the dungeon first of all, which is what's called the Vorgeth battle, which is a really massive ogre in the middle, and there's a mechanic to kill that ogre. But also in the middle of this battle, we need to summon something else. We need to summon another smaller ogre and kill that one in order to complete the third step of the Wishender quest. Okay, so the room, as you come in, you've got a wizard where you land, who will appear just as you land, and then going around the room in a clockwise fashion. It's a big square room, so on the left you've got one more wizard, straight in front of you you've got another wizard, and then on the right you've got another wizard too, so that's 4 altogether. And every time you kill one of these wizards, they drop a ball, which you pick up, and you get a buff, or a debuff. It is a buff, I suppose, or whatever it is. It's called the Petitioner's Mark, when it lasts for 44 seconds. Now, if that counts down to 0, you're dead. But you can reset it. You have to pick up 4 of these Petitioner's Marks, and you'd get one from each wizard. So what I would recommend is that you do it clockwise. You kill the wizard who's in front of you first, and then you make your way clockwise around the room, so you kill a second wizard, and then you'll get Petitioner's Mark ×2, and that will reset the timer back to around 44 seconds. Then go up to the third wizard, kill that wizard, and that'll reset it again. You get Petitioner's Mark ×3, and then it'll reset the timer again. And then finally go around to the last wizard, kill them, pick up the bowlark, and you'll get Petitioner's Mark ×4. When you do that, you get what's called Petitioner's Burden, and then that counts down until you die, basically. So what you need to do, though, is you need to dunk it into a receptacle. There are 2 receptacles in the room, and they're on either side of the ogre. If you kind of look at the room when you come in, there's one on the right of the ogre and one on the left. So once you kill the 4th wizard, it's pretty nearby. All you need to turn around and all you need to do is turn around and dunk it in there. Now, when you do that, that starts the damage phase of the ogre, and that's where you give him some kick-ins. You won't find that section particularly difficult, to be honest with you, if you've got your loadout like I've recommended and your nice super as well, yeah? But in order to summon the 3rd boss to get the Wishender part of the mission completed, once you stick in that 4th buff, yes, you stick the ball in the hole, what you're going to find is that an invisible Minotaur, it's really annoying, isn't it? An invisible Minotaur pops into existence. But he always pops into existence in exactly the same place each time. So, I've made this map here, and I'll show you exactly how and where to go. Now, I'm going to use Microsoft Paint as well, so you're going to have to excuse my terrible rubbishness on my drawing, but it'll explain it to you very well. Well, hopefully it will anyway. So here it is, my map of goodness, courtesy of Time Sausage's rubbish map department. Now, this is a top-down view of what I've been telling you, okay? So when you drop down, you'll be dropping down into this area here. And that's where the first wizard pops up. Then we've got the 2nd wizard, 3rd wizard, and 4th wizard. Okay? So once you kill that wizard, grab the petitioner's mark, you run to this wizard here, and then you kill them, grab the petitioner's mark, look, lovely crosses, you run here, kill the 3rd wizard, kill it, grab the petitioner's mark there, and then you run all the way over here down to wizard 4, kill that one, and then you grab the petitioner's mark. So you've got petitioner's burden. Then you want to dunk that in one of the 2 receptacles. There's only 2. There's one kind of here, and there's one over here. It's kind of its opposite. Look at that, it's rubbish. Anyway, so you run and you dunk it in there. Now, if you look to your right after you've dunked it, there's a little patch of like taken cobblers on the wall. That's where the invisible Minotaur jumps out of. It's a red bar. It's really easy to kill, but if you turn immediately to your right, you'll be able to see him popping out of here and slovenly sort of walking all over the place. Bear in mind the ogre boss will be shooting you in the face as well. So you want to run over here and kill that git there. Pretty easy to do. Once you do that, it spawns in another one of those orbs, you know, the ones that we've been collecting all the way through. So you want to turn around, you'll run directly to the orb, you can't miss it, and it's up on a little pedestal. Pick that orb up, and then you want to run all the way around now, so past where you had Wizard 3, past the exit where we leave, past down to where the 2nd wizard was, and then there's one of the statues on the wall here. It's put an elephant in there, I don't know why. I couldn't find the statue thing, okay. So it's got an empty hand, and that's where you stick in the orb, and that will summon the 3rd boss for the Wishender. So you can see I've just collected the orb. I'm making my way around the edges of the room back to where this is where the 2nd wizard was. Just over there to our left is where we spawn in, and here's the row of statues, and there's the one with the empty part in the hand. Stick it in, and that will summon the other git, your Wishender killing git, who will kind of appear around about here somewhere, yes, and then walks kind of into the center, kind of walks around here, and walks around back there. So what I would do here, we've got a big pillar, which is there, and I use that as cover from the ogre. I kind of stand here, I kind of drop a barricade either here or there, and then the ogre, when he's walking around, I'll just shot him with my rocket launcher until the git died, and then he was deaded. And once he's dead, you don't need to do that bit again. So even if you do die during the next part of the battle, killing the ogre, don't panic, you've got that 3rd step done. So all you need to do then is work your way on killing the boss, and that's exactly the way I did it, really. I got killed by I killed the main, the Wishender ogre, and then I died, but then I came back, restarted it. You don't have to summon them again, and you can just kill the ogre in the middle. Now, strategy for killing the ogre, I found, is add control around the wizards. And you don't really want to kill the wizards all in one go. What I tended to do was take their health down a little bit each, so I'm not standing there killing each one. So what I found was, when a wizard spawns, you also get some of those taken goblins. You know, they shield them. They're very irritating. And you also got some vandals as well. So you want to kill the minions around them, and you've got your void shield killing machine, which is your graviton lance. That takes out the void shields, and you just want to work them down. Then I turned my attention to the second wizard, killed those ads as well, and then knocked down the wizard's health. And then at that point, I killed the first wizard, got the first petitioner's mark, ran round, killed the second wizard, got the second petitioner's mark, which gives me 42 seconds more time, and then shoot the ads from afar. Don't be afraid to use your heavy, kill the third wizard, pick up the petitioner's mark, run around, do the same thing, clear the ads, kill the fourth wizard, grab the petitioner's mark, and then you want to dunk it back then in the same receptacle here. What you can find though is that it doesn't allow you to dunk it in that receptacle. You may have to go over to the one on the opposite side, but don't panic, you have plenty of time to do that. Once you've done that, use these things as cover if you want to, but what I did was just laid into the git as much as I could to kill him. Yeah, go on, die. So I used my super, I used my heavy rocket launchers. Just pile on in as much as you can. You could do it in a one phase with the way the health is and the way our power is now, but it took me 2 phases because I just didn't want to rush it and die. Then once you kill that boss, that's it. That's the whole shamonky over with, and then you need to go and collect your Wishender from a statue which is located just out of the main doors in the exit here. And I have to admit, that's the first time I've ever done that myself. It took me loads of deaths, but you can get through it. You don't have to worry about dying as long as you kill those 3 bosses, and then you stick it to this statue here, and then you'll have your Wishender. And you don't even have to finish the dungeon if you don't want to. Although it's worth pushing on through if you want to get it, but my advice is use the Wishender in the dungeon because it's really, really useful. Anyway, I hope you found that guide useful, and if you did, a like and a subscribe, of course, goes such a long way to helping the reach of the channel. I'd really, really appreciate it, and let me know in the comments if you've got any other hints and tips for getting this Wishender. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall speak to you all again very soon. Sausage? Hurt. Yeah, you did it!